You are now listening to Clay Mohr, the American storyteller. I got a call one early evening from a former associate and friend of mine. It probably came at a good time as I was at war with this old pickup truck that I was restoring. After exchanging our usual pleasantries and catching up a bit, I noticed a sense of urgency in Cole's voice. As I listened, I knew right away that once again, Cole had bit off more than he could chew. I try not to be too irritated as Cole and I had been through some pretty tough scrapes over the years. But once again, Cole's ego had gotten the better of him. Or maybe it was that high-end Kentucky bourbon he drinks. No matter, here I was on the line, hearing the same story about this was a great project, and he really needed my help on this one. He had a great crew for this one, all the familiar suspects. And of course, we would also be hiring some local help. He went on to tell me it was an inner city job, so there would be a lot of good restaurants and bars to go to. I know exactly what kind of bars he was talking about. Cole could never stay away from the ladies. I had always enjoyed the big cities. From time to time, I was able to meet some real diverse characters, which always supplied me with a great cachet of material. Cole went on and on as usual, how I would always regret not taking this one. I finally told him to email me all the information so I could look at it and decide for myself, and I would get back to him. Well, I woke up the next morning, and there it was. Cole hadn't wasted any time. As always, he had gone to great lengths to convince me to take this one. I swear this guy could sell refrigerators to the Eskimos. Well, I emailed him back. I gave him the usual, this would be the last time, and would meet up with him on Monday morning. By the time I got there on Monday, Cole and one of his sidekicks, this Jimmy, had briefed our guys and had picked up a couple of local guys to help out. It was always a good idea to have a couple of local guys. It kind of showed you the lay of the land. I call it local etiquette or protocol. I just hope these guys were better than the last batch. Little did I know I was in for one hell of a time. It turns out that one of these guys, Cedric, was assigned to me. Cedric was the quintessential local celebrity and had a language all his own. I got to taking a liking to him, although in the beginning, I didn't even know what he was talking about half the time. I didn't know there was that many variations to the English language. I swear at times he was making up his own words. I recalled some of the Charles Dickens novels that I had read, and there was a term in Victorian age England. It was called street urchin. It was used to describe less fortunate children, sometimes living on the streets in poverty. Over the next few months, as I got to know Cedric, I found out that he had a pretty rough time of it growing up. But I'll tell you, that may have been the case, but that did not keep the smile off Cedric's face. Everywhere we went, it seemed like he knew everybody. He even gave Cole a run for his money when we were out one night. And most everyone liked him as well. I told him one night after we had a couple that he should run for some type of political office. I said jokingly, I would even help him with his campaign. He thought about it for a minute and he said, no, big dog. He called me big dog. He said, no, big dog. And then he said something to the effect that he would have to be high class or be something that he's not. Well, that was Cedric. What you saw is what you got. We wrapped up the project in grand fashion, and the local authorities thought we walked on water. I bid my usual farewell to everybody and told Cole, don't call me, I'll call you. And he responded, yeah, right. Once I got home, it wasn't until a few weeks later that I had a chance to reflect on the last couple of months. Of course, one of the first things that came to mind was Cedric. I recall all his different mannerisms and nuances, and of course his use of the English language that surely had Daniel Webster constantly rolling over in his grave. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to share with you one of his favorite anomalies. Of course, I had to clean it up a little bit for this writing, but it goes like this. This is a story about the big dog and the puppy or little dog. Women always want to walk in with the puppy dog. They have it on an invisible leash. It follows them around wherever they go. It jumps up and down on their leg and acts real stupid. It licks their hand and does whatever they want it to do. All the other girls are saying how nice the puppy is and making a big fuss over it because they want a puppy too. Meanwhile, the big dog is sitting there. He is sitting up straight with his chest out. His eyes are constantly moving, surveying everything and everyone in the room. He knows that whatever goes down, it is his responsibility to take care of business. Just his presence in the room is enough. But the girls haven't figured this out yet because they are still playing with the puppy. At the end of the day, the girl goes home with the puppy. The puppy goes in the corner, pees on the newspaper, and craps all over itself. But what happened to the big dog? The big dog is in the girl's bedroom, lying on the floor next to her bed, ready to protect her and give her that feeling of security that only big dogs can. The moral of the story might be this. On the outside, the girl wants the puppy, but deep down inside, she knows she will not make it without the big dog. Cedric always had a way with words. I should call that young man and see how he's getting along. We can talk about all the crazy things that happen on that job. But that is another story for another time. Bringing the past to the present, I am Clay Mohr.